Well, hello everybody. This is Bob Villarreal, and thank you for joining me. Today is, let me see, it's April 30th of 2018. So thank you for joining me for the tours for parts T through U of the fifth letter of Volume 2 of the Chronicle of Pedro de Merida. Now, just a reminder, in these tours my intent is not to tell everything that happens in these parts. My purpose is to fly over the land the parts cover so you can get a sense for where the participants are and the nature of their physical surroundings. Now, I will occasionally mention some details from the story, but only rarely. Okay, well, we pick up the narrative here in Santiago, where Valdivia is ready to lead out an expedition to the southern lands to identify places south of the Rio Mole for town sites to serve as bases from which to carry forward future operations of settlement. In particular, he was interested in the locale known as Pinco, which we will come to presently. Okay, well, despite the need for more men from Peru, Captain Valdivia decided to march south without them, since he needed to found towns and recruit more Indians. As I said, for the fields and the mines and convert them to the faith. Now, several lieutenants felt they should wait upon more soldiers from Peru before setting off. Despite their concerns, Valdivia decided to go ahead. So they left and they passed over several rivers. So let's go down to them again so you can get the physical lay of the land here. This is, excuse me, this is the river Chachapoal. We've been here before. Then they went down to the Mole. There's the Mole. Then they crossed, they went down to the Nuble. And then a short distance, only a couple of miles, is the Rio Chillon. Now just beyond the Chillon, we're going to come down. This is where they fought the Battle of Quilicura. Now, yeah, they encountered a wide expanse here of 6-foot high jungle grass. Excuse me. While they placed camp, Ayar and Huenus were sent out to find natives to try and find some natives to talk to and inquire about Mapuche activity in the area. They returned with the incredible news of coming upon 2 squash and bean farmers who, upon receiving 2 bags of blue beads, revealed that 6,000 warriors planned to arrive from the south late at night in this place called Quilicura, led by a toki, or chief, named Maloquet, one hostile to the Christians. Well, I'm not going to go into the details. I mean, you can read about it, but it's a riveting description of the battle, which occurred at night. And the Christians lit fire to the high grass and barbecued most of the savages sneaking up upon them in the dark. Well, the day following the battle, they left the fields of Quilicura and continued their journey now to the west and ocean coast, where Valdivia wished to find a site for a future town. So let's go over there. In 2 days, they came upon the place where the Chillon and the Bio empty their waters into the sea and stayed near the village of Pinco. Now I've got Concepcion in there. Concepcion wasn't built in, but there's Pinco. Okay, now the cacique, or chieftain here in Pinco, came forth to meet them, and he told him that the leader of the Mapuche at Quilicura, by name of Maloquet, had survived the battle and was even more intent on driving the Spanish from the land. And in fact, he was seeking to raise a force of as many as 30,000 Mapuche to do that. Well, now Valdivia realized that he didn't have enough men, so they left for Santiago. And so in a week, they made it to Valparaiso. Pardon me? We go down to Valparaiso. Sorry. We've been to Valparaiso before. I probably said it, but I've been here a couple of times. It's known as the San Francisco of South America, and it's beautiful. The hills, it sits right on the sea. It's just like San Francisco. It's got the hills, and the different colors of the houses and buildings. I mean, it's just fantastic. Well, anyway, they finally got back to, let's go to Santiago. Now, when they returned, within a couple of days, Captain Pastin arrived from Peru. Now, he had been sent there a little over a year before by Valdivia to find more men, okay? Well, he returned and told of what was going on in Peru at the time. Well, it occurs that Gonzalo Pizarro was threatening to overthrow the king's representative from Spain, Father Pedro de la Gasca, and take control of Peru. When Captain Valdivia heard this, he decided to set out for Peru to help La Gasca. So he took several men with him, and they set out, and they left. And here's, we go up to the port of Callao. This is the port of for Lima. You can see Lima back there. This is also where the Lima airport is. And so I've flown into this place, 5 or 6 times over the years. Well, Valdivia embarked for Cusco, where La Gasca was. All right. Now, Gonzalo Pizarro didn't have a huge army. He just had a ragtag band of rebels. And so La Gasca put Valdivia in charge of the Spanish forces, and he defeated Pizarro on April 9th of 1548 at the Battle of Sacsayhuaman. Now let's go down into Sacsayhuaman. It's a Inca stone fortress that's mostly destroyed now, but a lot of the stones are still there. You can't see it in Google Earth. You can go to my website. You can go to the Pedro de Merida website, and I've got pictures of it. It's absolutely stunning and incredible what the Incas were able to do with making stone structures. Again, I've seen this 3 times, 2 or 3 times. Okay, well, let's go back to Callao. Now, while Valdivia was away, disgruntled citizens in Santiago, unhappy with some of the decisions, some of the decisions made by Valdivia, like land grants, they weren't happy because they didn't get any. They traveled to Peru to discuss these matters with La Gasca. Again, pardon me. Well, the priest listened to what these people had to say and rendered a judgment against Valdivia in several areas. You can read about them on the website. Well, finally, Valdivia received permission from La Gasca to return to Santiago, and received the okay. He dispatched Montesinos with 80 new men to ride to the new town while he went by ship. Well, Montesinos and the men, halfway to Santiago from Cusco, they came upon the horror of the destruction of La Serena. So let's go down to La Serena. If you've read up to this point, Volume 1 and now into Volume 2, you're very well familiar with La Serena. Beautiful place. Again, I've been here. It is a stunning place today, and one of the main tourist attractions in Chile. But anyway, the nearby hostile natives had killed every Christian there, about 30 people, and they had hanged them from the trees, chopped up their bodies. And now Valdivia was to reestablish La Serena about 5 years later, but that's another story. Okay. Well, Valdivia finally got back to Santiago, and he summoned the Cabildo to special session and read them the decree from Viceroy La Gasca. Now, I want to mention two important ones of the some 50 or so. And again, this is in the letter, or in the index. Number one, Captain Valdivia was confirmed as the governor of Chile by Legazpi and the king, and that was his major goal. Now, one of the other things was that remember Inés de Suarez. He had met her in Cusco before he set out, and she became his mistress. And so, of course, Legazpi did not like that. And so his order was that within 6 months upon arrival in Santiago, he was to cease his relationship with Inés and either marry her to someone else or send her out of the country. And in addition, he was to ask his wife, Marina Ortiz Gonzalez, to join him in Chile from Spain. Well, you can read about that. There's more detail in the letter. Okay. Well, anyway, that's it for this tour. I'm going to keep it here for a few moments just to make sure the audio syncs up with the video. But again, thank you very much for joining me.